with a 20% deposit match of up to 100,000 Rand. And our predictor where you could win 1 million Rand cash. There's never been a better time to register.
Hello racing fans and a warm welcome to Trackside, proudly brought to you by World Sports Betting. Bet with the best, bet with WSB. Well, it is that time of the year, isn't it? The end of January, and it is one of the feature race meetings on the South African racing calendar and on the African continent. It's World Sports Betting Met Day, featuring the World Sports Betting Cape Town Met and 8 other feature races on the day. Of course, there are carryovers to be added to the meeting, 2 million to the pick 6. That likely pool will be 10 million Rand, 1 million to that main race, Quartet likely pool, 4 million. And we also have a Hong Kong World Pool event, meaning races 1 through to 10 is a world pool commingled. So lots to play for, plenty to play for. There's lots of action on the World Sports Betting website. I will tell you that I just had a look at it. There's all sort of exotic places. You got Cape Town Met specials, you got jockey boosters, alles. Everything is on the website. All you need to do is go on to www.wsb.co.za. So you, the racing fan, I trust that you're well. You're having a fair week in the build-up to this race meeting on Saturday. And it is going to be a busy show. I've picked out 4 horses on the day. Hopefully things fall into place. And along with that, I've given a guide to the pick 6 and a guide to the Quartet. So it's one of those busy shows. So away we go with our 4 horses before we get into those exotic bets. And my day, or our day, should I say, will begin in race number 3. And in the third race, we will start off with Green with Envy. Dean Caname's runner with Craig Zaki up. Now, from day one, this horse grabbed my attention in a big way. Just the manner in which he won that day with Keegan DeMello. He had no right to win at Hollywood Bets Gravel. He was positioned towards the back of the field as they turn into the straight. At the 400, no chance. At the 300, very little chance. And at the 200 meter mark, he started to make his move. And it was amazing the way he got up that day. And from day one, as I mentioned, he's a horse that I penciled in as one to follow. Next time out at Hollywood Bets Durbanville, he did the same. It was the same type of effort that he put in on debut. He looked to be hopelessly outpaced, very, what's the word? Not lazy, because he's not a lazy horse, but just relaxed towards the back of the field. And when Craig asked him to race, that was it. In a matter of stride, he just picked up the field and he wasn't going away. So those were his first 2 wins, and then he became an exciting prospect. So he's since run in the Cape Classic. He's run in the Selangor, which is now known as, I think it's the Cape Punters Cup, if I'm not mistaken, and he's run in the Guineas. And if you look at all those races, he always seems to run out of runway. He just gets going too late. He finds his stride, but the race is already done, especially against the company that he's kept of late. Quality horses are gonna make you work if you're coming from off the pace. They're not going to be stopping. They're not going to be throwing in the towel. And he's been running on, but it's been too late. But the key for me has to be the distance, because from day one, I thought, this horse, once he's put over ground, especially over 2,000 meters, he could be a very exciting prospect. And, 2,000 meters is the Derby distance. So I suspect that will be his main mission, his main aim for the season. But now that he goes 1,800 meters, which is 200 meters further than he's been racing of late, if Craig can just have him in a favorable position, I know you don't want to change the formula and the recipe with a horse like this, but just to have him in a nice favorable position turning into the straight, he will pick them up very comfortably over this 1,800 meter trip. He will be the fastest finisher, but it all depends on how far back he is. If he's last turning to the straight, then I'll have concerns. But if he's more, favorably positioned within striking distance, that type of thing, I think they will battle to quicken the deal over the final 400. Like him a lot. Race 3, number 8, green with envy. Then we go on to race number 6. Now, race number 6 is turning out to be a hot race with lots of talk about, but we are going to stick with the Equus champion sprinter, Isi Vungu Vungu. And he's given us some wonderful memories thus far in his career. Of course, well done to the entire team, being crowned Equus champion sprinter. And after, at the end of last season, it was a deserved break. They really gave him the time off to find himself for this season. And his last start, which was in the Winchester Sprint Cup, he ran a brilliant race considering the time that it was off, and I thought it was a super effort. He actually moved up to win it, and then he found the fitter, Thunderstruck, who passed him by. But nevertheless, you'll take plenty of positives coming off that length of a break against a quality field and the way he rates. He's all about this horse, and he's second. He was only beaten a half length by Thunderstruck. Now, last year, if you can recall, if you can go back to last year, he did run in this same race and he ran third. And in that race, I think it was won by Dean Kennemayer's horse. Yes, it was. Give Me a Prince is his name, that won that race. But he ran a decent third. So I'm hoping two things. Firstly, he can reverse the form with Thunderstruck. And secondly, he can possibly go better and win the 2024 renewal of what is a very exciting race, the Cape Flying Championship, which is race number 6. Then we move along to race number 8. Now, in the 8th race, can you believe it? The Gold Rush race on the day is the highest stakes for the entire season in South Africa. More than the WSB Met, more than the Equipment Sturban in July, because it's a race that you need to buy a ticket. And in order to buy a ticket, you need to have a horse. Well, the carrot at the end of that is the stake, 7.5 million rand. Yep, you heard it, 7.5 million rand, and the winner will get 5 million rand. Wow, what a payday for someone, for these connections of the winner of this race. And I've decided to go in this race and choose a horse that I think represents a lot of value. He'll be a big price, he'll be in double figures. His name is Infrared, he's trained by Brett Crawford and to be ridden by Loon Quartet. Now, this individual is badly out at the weights. In fact, you give him no chance if you just have a look at his merit rating. But what I have to say is that when you compare him against those that have achieved, he has to be out of the weights, because those that have achieved, and I use the word those that have achieved because they've run as 2-year-olds, they've run in feature race company, etc., and they're bound to get, a high rating, especially, if they run fair races, and if they win like horses like Bavarian Beauty, etc., you are going to be top of the log as you go into your 3-year-old career when it comes to your merit rating. So he, on the other hand, didn't run as a 2-year-old, and he only started off his engine as a 3-year-old Infrared. And you think that the way Brett Crawford has brought him along, needed his first 2 starts, showed very little. He's then started to get the hang of things, Infrared, and he won a very good race at his 3rd start. And since then, he's had 2 good runs. His form over a mile is what I like. And it's a good draw that Louis Courtois got on him, draw number 7, because having watched him in the races and having seen most of these horses to date, especially with that 7.5 million and at first stake check of 5 million in front of you, there is going to be a good pace in this race. That's your almost guaranteed, or 100%. Tactics are going to come into play, and it's the BMT of both horse and jock that's going to come to the fore. Big match temperament for this type of money. And I think Loon Courtois, who's grown in stature over the seasons, has got that now. And Brett Crawford, we know that he's no stranger to the winner's enclosure on these big days. So this horse, what I'm hoping for is that he gets a nice position from draw number 7. And if they want to go quick, let them go quick. The one thing that we know about Infrared is that he's going to stay 1,600 meters. That is the key here. 1,600 meters, the distance. If they go quick, it could become, a race where it's going to be stretched out. and where the horses are going to be tiring turning into the straight and then leaving the door wide open for those that come from off the speed. So it's going to be an exciting race, not because it's a graded race, but because of the stake on offer. And I've chosen a horse that I think there's plenty more to come. I personally think he's going to achieve much higher than this merit rating of 88 in his career, and at a big price, at a decent price, at odds that will be generous. Number 7, Infrared, is going to be a selection that we're going to include in all our trebles. And then on to our fourth of our four to follow, and no prizes for getting on how we're going to end things off. It is the odds-on favorite for the main event, the World Sports Betting Cape Town Met. His name is See It Again. We know his CV, his profile, and how great he was as a 3-year-old, whereas as a 4-year-old. It's great to see him carry that form into this season, winning first up, which was a nice warm-up at Hollywood Bets Greyville, then going into that Green Point Stakes, where many were of the opinion, including myself, that it's just a warm-up, it's a build-up, because 1,600 meters is not his game, but wow, that was a superb performance. He made that quality field look very ordinary over the final 100 meters. And then last time out, well, he was all the rage, but Charles Dickens had a point to prove, and Charles Dickens, it was his last race of his career, and he bowed out in that King's Plate in a massive way. That was the greatest performance of all his wins for me on how he ended off his career. He'll now retire to stud, Charles Dickens, but this horse, See It Again, had to settle for second. But we all know that 1,600 meters is not his best trip. It's 2,000 meters. That's when he comes alive. He's 2 from 2 over the distance. He's a Derby winner as a 3-year-old. He's run in the Hollywood Bets Durban July. That was the run of the race, considering the weight he carried as a 3-year-old. So this horse, number 11, See It Again, he is deep in the red. We know that because of his rating and how the weights are structured and where he falls. He is well in here. The others are all going to battle to beat him. It's a matter of what's running second. That's the way the majority will see it. And See It Again, can he get it right? For Michael Roberts and Pierre Strader, and of course, Mr. Johnson and Breeders, Drakenstein stud. Well, I think he will on Saturday. Horse number 11, See It Again. So those are our 4 horses. So 2 trebles up will be on the World Sports Betting menu. Now for the exotics. I think first up we'll do the pick 6. And you need to jot down this time if you are going to be playing into this pick 6. 1340. Well, I suggest you get on a bit earlier than that. 1340, 20 to 2. Estimated pool, 10 million with a carryover of 2 million. Right, one of that pick 6, leg 1, I'm going to go with 2, 4, 6, 7 horses here in numerical order. Number 1, which is Silver Falcon. Horse number 3, Pomodoro's Jet. Number 4, At My Command. Number 6, Quasi for Sure. Horse number 7, Captain Fontaine gets my vote. So does 11, Silver Operator, and 13, Underworld. 1, 3, 4, 6, 7, 11, and 13. So playing it wide, and hopefully we can get some type of result with the horses that we've included. Leg 2 of that pick 6, again, I've gone a bit wide in this race. I've included number 2, Distant Winter. Number 3, Hunting Trip. Horse number 5, Winter Cloud. Then on to number 9, Sidley. Number 10, Distinction. Number 12, Shantastic. And horse number 16, which is Enemy Territory. So looking for a result there, and hopefully we also get one with those numbers. There's 2, 4, 6, 7 numbers. So 2, 4, 6, 7 numbers in leg 1, 7 numbers in leg number 2. And then we all in. Isi Vungu Vungu, our banker, comes up in leg number 3. That's horse number 9. In the next race, which is the Mallorca, the City of Cape Town Mallorca Stakes, a Group 1 over 1,600 meters, one of the premier Group 1s for fillies and mares over a mile. I've included the 2 very exciting 3-year-old fillies, numbers 4, Red Palace, and 11, Beach Bong, along with the Equus Champion Horse of the Year. Was yet to win this season. What form she was in last season. She is yet to open up her account, and hopefully for her followers she can do so on Saturday. So numbers 4, 5, and 11 there hoping for one I think will be a form result. And then on to race number 8, which is that Gold Rush race where my value on the card comes up in infrared. But in the pick 6, we got infrared. I think the horse is backable as well at whatever odds he's being priced up. But what we'll do there in the pick 6, we'll run for some cover because it looks to be a competitive field, although there are some standouts. If you just have a look at the best weighted column, Bavarian Beauty looks very, very hard to oppose the visitor from Gauteng for Tony Peter and Pierre Stratham. But what we'll do here will include numbers 4, Sunshine Day, number 5, Woolly John, horse number 7, Our Horse, Infrared, number 8, Tail of the Comet, number 10, Bavarian Beauty, horse number 11, which is Winter Rainfall, numbers 12 and 13, King of Spin, and 13, Rabbitash. And then the banker comes up at the back, See It Again, horse number 11. That spend 294 Rand will give you 25% of that pick 6. And if we get some results with those bankers arriving, I think it will be a very good return on your investment. And then on to the main event where we've got that Quartet carryover. We have to give a Quartet. You can play around my numbers because we are going to banker horse number 11, See It Again in that Quartet. So for that first position, number 11, See It Again. Then I've included 3 horses for second. Number 3, Pacaya. Horse number 6, which is Mucho Dinero. Then number 13, which is Rascallion. So 11 a banker by 3, 6, 13. And then for third and fourth, just jot down these numbers in numerical order: 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, and 13. For third and fourth, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, and 13. And that spend will be 126 Rand, which will give you a full 100% for that Quartet. And that is it, guys. So we've given you our 4 horses to follow, given a pick 6 card if you're in a Quartet for the main race. And all that's left for me to say is to firstly our sponsor, World Sports Betting, to their team, to their patrons, to their staff, to everybody involved with World Sports Betting, and everybody that's going to be involved on the day, Hollywood Bets Kennel this Saturday. All the best for this race meeting, and hopefully it turns out to be a huge success. And as always, to you, the valued racing fan, thanks to you for your continued support. And as I mentioned, as always, thanks to you, the valued racing fan. But it is going to be a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful weekend with all that high-class action. And again, thanks to all the punters, but more importantly and more especially, thanks to you, the valued customer. Have a blast, find all the winners, make a huge profit, and hopefully it turns out to be a successful day for you, the valued racing fan. Until we meet again, you take care. Salani Gashte.